Hi, welcome to the Dahlia Love Club. Hello members and new people. Today we're doing the next installment, which is the title of Harvesting, because now we have this abundance of flowers happening, and I just want to give you a quick look at how we at the farm harvest and why. So the idea of harvesting is that you will get more tubers if you harvest the flowers, because you're putting the plant basically in a state of stress, and they want to keep using their energy to create seed. So flower, first flower, then seed. So if you're removing the flower, then the plant can sense that they're not making seed, so it's going to keep pushing more and more flowers out with that goal in mind, and it needs more food to be able to do that, so it will create more tubers. So it's a way of cultivating both flowers and tubers. So give you a little look here. You'll see that there's a V often on flowers in general, but especially in dahlia. Your first bloom, you're going to want to remove it so that you can encourage taller stems like this one. See how long this one is? This plant has been pruned in the middle already, right here, when it first bloomed, so it triggered longer stem. I'm not exactly sure why that happens, to tell you the honest truth, but that is what happens. It's observable. It will create a longer stem when you take out that middle one. So today we're just going along taking off. I'm using a scissor, I just don't have my snips, but you'll just take them off. And these are also pleasurable to use, obviously, in your house. You can just cut them right at the base and float them in a bowl of water, or you could put them in your bathtub. That's quite abundant feeling. That's a quite elaborate and luxurious experience. You could dry the petals in a dehydrator, or really just lay them out and let them dry, and then crush them up and add some sugar, and it's a really interesting rim on your glasses, or sprinkle them in your salad. They're edible. So, okay, going through to harvest. Again, let's go look a little further down here. This is an example of a double header over here, but it must have been pruned in the middle already. Here, you can see down here. See that one where my ring finger is touching? That it is triggering these other buds to start moving up on the height. Here's another long stem coming. So florists are always asking for longer stems, because then they have something to cut back into their arrangements, and they kind of act as roses in a bouquet. All right, this one is overdue for harvesting, so we want to remove it. We're not going to be able to sell it really, but it's still beautiful to look at. I will take it down to where the next bud is. This is an example of a bud forming. So, in this case, leave the bud so you get another bloom. I'll cut it right here between. That's another V. Sorry, it's again the scissor, not the clipper. Some people are very strict on, I just want you to be aware of this, but some people are very strict on how they're using their tools for dahlias, because there's a possibility that if you do have an infection in your crop, if you use the same one multiple times, you could be spreading an infection. Luckily, we have a group of plants here that don't believe in infections, but they recommend that in between your use, you could dip it in alcohol or soapy water and or use an individual clipper for each plant. Even some people go that far. We've had luck doing it this way, just being pretty aggressive about harvesting. But if you do see a plant that looks ill, which would be something like curly leaves, we don't have an example here luckily, but sometimes the leaves might curl up, or it just isn't, it's failing to thrive. I would really take some time to think about that before you clip from it and then move on to another plant. Okay, this is an example here where the petals start falling off. easily. This has been pollinated. See, there's a bee doing its job right here. See, he's going around pollinating. So once the flower becomes pollinated, it's going to start forming a seed pod. So this is a seed pod being formed. So you could decide to leave that seed pod on. It will make the plant not produce as many seeds, or flowers rather, because it knows it has its treasure. But I'm going to decide, because I still want to have a crop to sell at the farmers markets and to some florists, to take off this. You can just drop it right on the soil, because it will decompose and it adds nourishment to your garden in general. Or you can compost it. But Kayla, our farm operator, volunteer wife, the wife of our farm operator, volunteers to come out and do this most mornings, because they live here on site. So she'll remove all the deadheads, they call it, but we know they're not really deadheads. They're just blooms that are starting to fade. We want to go around and cut them. They're going to end up with the short stems, like I said, but you know now these could grow to be 4 feet tall if we keep doing this. Anyway, have a great day, and I thank volunteer Jackie for taking this video, and she's going to give you a little look at what the dahlias look like right now. She's going to walk around, and there's a couple new ones in our midst that we just put in this year. Most of these fragile pastels we're adding. We want to add a pastel and purple range to our garden, because we started with the deep oranges for a wedding of our family member who asked for those, and which are also beautiful, but we have a heavy amount of oranges. I personally have always been following this one is called Cosmic Bloom right here. That's my signature dahlia. Yep. Yep. No, this is a different one. That's a new one. You see slight variation. It has the yellow inside. It's fun to figure out which ones you have. We're in the process of labeling them all so that we could sell the tubers exactly as they are named. Here's an example of a seed pod forming, which I'm going to clip right off, let it drop. Doink. Okay.
Where's the Cosmic Bloom so I can get a good shot of it?
Cosmic Blooms. These are Cosmic
Blooms. Okay, right.
These are Cosmic Blooms with the yellow. The Cosmic Bloom has an open yellow center, which the bees and pollinators really go for, because they could reach it. Many dahlias, they can't get to the center, so they're not always used as pollinator havens, but the Cosmic Bloom is one that you could put into your crop and just know that will bring in pollinators. As you can see, they love it. Florists don't always go for these unless they're a very, forward kind of avant-garde florist, because they look like they're perishing pretty quick. They open up all the way and they look like they're past their prime. But if you really like that in-process look of a plant for yourself to study and look at as it progresses in its parts, this is one to go for. Cosmic Bloom. It could be called Cosmic Boom, I'm not sure, but it's both. It's a Cosmic Boom and it's a Cosmic Bloom.